day in office is instruct the Department of Justice and the IRS and every other agency of the federal government that the persecution of religious liberty ends today. A lot of us are familiar with the Little Sisters of the Poor, a Catholic charity of nuns who devote their lives to caring for the poor and elderly. Right now today, the Obama administration is litigating against the Little Sisters, trying to impose millions of dollars of fines under Obamacare in order to try to force the nuns to pay for abortion-inducing drugs for others. Let me give you a real simple rule of thumb. If you're litigating against nuns, you've probably done something wrong. Instead of receiving a legal summons from the Obama Justice Department, in January 2017, the Little Sisters of the Poor will receive in the mail the notice that the case against them has been dismissed. And along with that will be an invitation for the Little Sisters to come to the White House and tell their story to the world. The fourth thing I intend to do on the first day in office is rip to shreds this catastrophic Iranian nuclear deal. The prospect of a nuclear Iran is the single greatest national security threat facing America today. You know, a couple of weeks ago I observed if this deal goes through, the Obama administration will become the world's leading financier of radical Islamic terrorism. In response, just over a week ago, President Obama from Africa took time out of his busy schedule to attack me directly. I do so hate to dismay the man. And he said, my saying that was too much, that was over the top, that was ridiculous. You can't use rhetoric like that. Sadly, it wasn't just President Obama, it was also Republicans. Mitt Romney tweeted to the world what Cruz said was too far, it was over the top. Don't say things like that. Jeb Bush said, no, don't say things like that. Let me give you all a very, very simple principle. The truth is not rhetoric. And you know, in the course of attacking me, President Obama never actually disputed the facts of what I was saying. He didn't point to any other institution on the face of the planet that is a larger financier of radical Islamic terrorism. Here are the facts. Fact number one, Iran today is the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Fact number two, if this deal goes through, over $100 billion will flow into Iran. Fact number three, if that happens, billions of those dollars will go to Hamas, to Hezbollah, to the Houthis, to radical Islamic terrorists throughout the world, and jihadists will use those billions to murder Americans, to murder Israelis, to murder Europeans. If President Obama doesn't like the rhetoric that his administration will become the world's leading financier of radical Islamic terrorism, then it should stop financing radical Islamic terrorism. intend to do on the first day in office is begin the process of moving the American embassy in Israel to Jerusalem, the once and eternal capital. Now, you know, a lot of presidential candidates, both Democrats and Republicans, have promised to do that. And when they get elected, they get into office, their team comes to them and they say, you know, there'd be a lot of people in the Middle East really unhappy with you if you do that. Well, if you haven't noticed, they're pretty unhappy with us already. And let me tell you the single biggest difference I believe between me and the other individuals on that stage in Cleveland is that when I tell you I will do something, I will do exactly what I said I would. That's day one. There are 365 days in a year, 4 years in a presidential term, and 4 years in a second term. One consequence is there'll be a whole lot of newspaper editors and reporters and journalists checking themselves into therapy over the next 8 years. They may see their premiums skyrocket, but I can see the headlines now. Cruz says premiums will skyrocket. In the days that follow that first day, I will work with Congress, and we will repeal every word of Obamacare. In the days that follow, I will instruct the Federal Department of Education, which we should abolish. I will instruct the Federal Department of Education to end Common Core now. In the days that follow, we will rebuild our military. And we will allow service members to exercise their Second Amendment rights and carry weapons. Chattanooga, sadly, has joined the community of cities across this country that have seen firsthand the face of radical Islamic terrorism. It is all of our hope and prayers that there are no more flags to join the 5 flags that recognize those 4 Marines and that 1 sailor who bravely gave their lives for this country. But in the days that follow in 2017, we will see a commander-in-chief who stands up and says, we will defeat radical Islamic terrorism. And to the young radical anywhere in the world who is thinking of taking up arms and waging jihad and joining ISIS, that young radical will know if you join ISIS, you are signing your death warrant. In the days that follow, we will finally secure our borders. And we will end sanctuary cities. In the year 2013, the Obama administration released to the public 104,000 criminal illegal aliens. 196 of them were murderers. Illegal aliens with homicide convictions that they released into the general public. Over 400 of them had sexual assault convictions, and they released them into the public. Over 16,000 of them had drunk driving convictions, and they released them into the public. Just a couple of weeks ago, in the Senate Judiciary Committee, I asked the head of immigration enforcement in the Obama administration, how many murderers did the Obama administration release yesterday? Answer, I don't know. How many rapists? I don't know. How many drunk drivers? I don't know. In a Cruz administration, the answer to those three questions will be 0, 0, and 0. And in the days that follow, I will work with Congress to pass fundamental tax reform and adopt a simple flat tax. So that every American can fill out his or her taxes on a postcard.